All right, it was a pretty interesting fantasy evening here. There's a few good scores. We have 6 there above the 50 mark, which is pretty good. And then a couple of pretty relevant guys in that 40s area as well. So, yeah, Taruva, 3 tries up top. And, Isaac Tungle getting a couple of try assists as well. And we've got to talk about it. The rage trade for myself right now is at an all-time high for Taylor May. It's a very unfortunate situation. I will have to say sorry to those that just decide to jump on with me. In the double May trade, the Terrell one was awesome. He's an absolute superstar. Talon, also a very good player, but the last 3 games, there has been absolutely zero space on his side of the park. And what I did get wrong was the matchups, for sure, right? But he had a good team in the first game in the Storm. Obviously, the matchup of like Remus Smith is not the same caliber, against what he's been up against the last few weeks, right? Manu, he's someone that misses a lot of tackles. Like, we all had him last year, and he would miss 5 or 6, 7 tackles a game. And tonight, just not happening. But anytime they go left, there's absolutely zero space on that right-hand defense. Every time they go right, it just seems like they're going to score every play. Like last night, it looked like it again, that they'd score every play. So it has been unfortunate on that standpoint that, the guys like To'o, can you guys believe that To'o actually decided to change sides, go from the right to the left? Because Taruva is just getting the absolute spoils at the moment, him and Tungle. So, yeah, incredible that he did decide to move to that left-hand side. But it's a super strong side, right? But you got Luai, who cuts back on the inside. They obviously always do their inside ball for the edge player to sort of run back on the inside. He was also using To'o as a guy to get some meters through that type of play as well. Talon is also not going in and finding work as well. The main issue with this side, and if you've got a center in this side, and Tungle, they're going right at least, so he's getting a few more meters gained. But even he had 109 in this one. I think Talon was like 80. They go winger, Dylan Edwards, 1 or 2 runs a set. So it's very hard for these centers to actually get a run, because then Isaiah Yeo gets the ball, he makes plenty of meters, and they go from there. So if they're not actually getting opportunities on the left-hand side, it's not working out for Talon. And it's just an absolute turnaround from round 1. So I will be looking to trade him out before he loses too much cash. There will be games where he goes nuts. It will happen. He'll come up against some nicer matchups. Next week's Garrick on that side. So, they got Cole on the other side. They'll probably still go right again. It's either next week or the bye, I think, for me. With him, unfortunately, I could get a lot better for that price. And I'm just sad that I didn't have enough money for Turbo or for Fogarty in that second round trade when I went for both Mays. So it's unfortunate, is what is. What the silver lining is out of this, guys, is that he didn't get suspended last week. So every single point that he got this week was gravy, was on top, because I thought he was going to get suspended. So we'll take the 29 as extra points this week. I have 17 on the park, so happy days there. And he didn't get injured in the game. He could have got 5, could have got sent off. Like, there's all these things that could happen. So 29, 5 down in updates. Sadly, it was 34 overnight. Annoying. We're going to clean it up, basically, is where we're at. So I don't think it's going to affect my score too much this week, but it's just frustrating to watch. Just him not getting the ball, him not finding the work as much. Really talented player, just not happening for him at the moment, sadly. So that's that one out of the way. Tongue on the other side, it was just a weird game for centers, I suppose, because he got 2 try assists in this one, 2 line break assists, and only got 37. So a couple errors, a couple of missed tackles in there as well. So that were the 2 centers. Taruva gunned it, 43 average. Don't look at him. We won't get 3 tries every week, but his first hat-trick. So happy days for Taruva. Butcher, he's the interesting one, wasn't he? At 675, he's lost 66k. He was averaging just under 40, I believe, across the first 3 games, or close to the 40 mark, and then picked up a 67 with 65 tackles, 28 meters gained. So the thing is with Butcher, guys, is some weeks he'll get 35 tackles. Just depends where they run at him. He was defending a little bit in the middle at times as well. And then he also, they have the next game where he gets sort of 40 points. He'll go 67, he'll go 40, and he'll kind of go back and forth with that, which would still be great. Or he'll go 38 or 36. Like, you see, look at his scores from last year, and that's how it shows. So shame that he got that big one this week, because that stunts his price drops. If he got near the 600s, early 600s, then that would have been a really good buy. But now he's near 700. I don't think he's going to stay similar to this, I should say. So he's about a 48 price point. I do think he'll average somewhere in the low 50s. So it's a very tiny uptick, but mid and edge dual is really cool. Terrell May, guys, still been the must-have buy of the week. Galvin and him this week it was. And he was terrific. To go 1.1, 1.15, 1.2 ppm, 65 in 56 minutes was absolutely tremendous. Congrats to him and all his owners. He's going to be up about 160k now, close to at least, actually. 165, 170 for the year. 4 tackle breaks, 2 offloads, 150 meters, 38 tackles for no misses. He's a terrific player, and thank goodness that Taylor got that turnover tackle on him with that one error for Terrell, but he's incredible. Speak about incredible in this game. Manu was doing everything he could to try and win this matchup. And 61 for him. No missed tackles, 10 tackle breaks in 100 meters. A lot of crab running, obviously. A lot of pushing off. Here, missed tackle for you, missed tackle for you. When he didn't really miss them, he's just like extending his arm. That's a funny tackle break rule, that one. So he was great. 48.5 average now. Again, one of those guys that will be relevant across the season, but we aren't getting the drops that we would have hoped for. So that low score in round 2, I think, is obviously out of his system now, and he's just got big scores outside of that. Dylan Edwards wasn't incredible in this game. They just seem to, someone just steps up each and every week. If Cleary's not there, if Fish isn't there, someone's stepping up. It's incredible what they can do here. And Dylan Edwards was one of those guys that try assist for himself. Very, very impressive. So good stuff. Dill, 59 for him. He's averaging 52. I was talking to a couple of guys, or Callum, who had in the head-to-head video, and he's the one who was saying that how he was just blowing up about how poor Edwards was. I think he averaged like 30 or close to it at best over the last sort of 10 rounds of the season. He copped him there when he was on like 40 in the first half. I said, Callum, you ready to jump on again? That was funny. But that's still Edwards. Isaiah Yeo, if you brought him in, guys, at 57. Look, again, a little bit low on what he did last week, but he started pretty well. I was talking to the guys that did bring him in, captain him. I was like, isn't he just an easy watch? He was kind of lowish with about 6 or 7 minutes to go, so he bumped that up to 57, thank goodness. But it was just a couple offloads in this one. Tackle numbers a little bit lower. I know the 1 tackle break, so when those numbers are up a bit, he's in the mid-60s, and that's that. Brandon Smith got a nice try at the end and picked up a lot of stats in that last sort of 10 minutes there. He was, came back on with 18 minutes to go or something on 16 points, and then end up on 49 with that try. 4 tackle breaks, turnover tackle, a couple of kicks from dummy half, and an offload. So 49 for him. For anyone saying he's a bust, he's averaging 45, and he's going to be up about 40 odd K after this week. So not much more you can say on Brandon. He's doing a good job. Exactly what you want scoring wise. Minutes wise, it's not been there, but I suppose it allows him to miss a couple of less tackles, get out there, smash it, run around crazy, especially when they're trying to catch up and win this match. That's what he can do. Lindsay Smith played a fair bit of edge in this game with Martin going off, so 49 for him. Anyone who started with him, you're making a little bit of cash. Victor Radley, a few people have asked me about. 49 is the average, playing 80 every week. He's dropped down the discipline a bit, which is good, with 6 missed tackles in this one. If he can't average over 50 in games that you look at him and go, he's played pretty well. Scored a try, I think, in one of them as well. So if he can't get over 50, I don't think he's worth it on anyone's sides. I don't think going forward. Brad Schneider, incredible how no other club could get him going. Like when he played for the Raiders in his rookie year, he was great. He looked awesome. Did his job, tackled well. And here he comes into the Panthers and just does it from ball one. It's incredible what this club can do. Very, very incredible. And then you speak of guys that step up in Fisher Harris's absence, and Liam Henry's that guy. 44 there in 41 minutes. He got a big jump overnight. He was 36. He got a couple extra tackle breaks. And yeah, I look at like Supercoach, they've got him at 1 tackle break. So wild that how different it is. But we'll see if that updates on that side of the ball. But if you did grab him in here in fantasy, then that jump from 36 to 44 is huge. That's a lot of extra thousands of dollars that you're making with Liam, and it was this week or never. I mentioned him as a solid option this week, but a couple of games before the bye, then Fish comes back. It's like, how many extra minutes can you get? In a 378, you need him to play this 40 and be about a point a minute to make some good cash before he drops back down. So yeah, if you jumped on, happy days and played him. Walker 37, just a game again for the Roosters that as soon as you come up against the Panthers from a fantasy perspective, if you're anywhere from 7 down to 1, it's very, very tough to hit good scores. And you're only seeing Manu, just because he's an absolute freak, to be able to do those crab runs and not miss any tackles in this one, because, not too much happened on that left-hand side. They were very bunched up in defense and were able to not miss tackles that way, which was very helpful for them. So, Walker, 37. He's getting lower and lower and lower. So, if we can get him anywhere near the 500s, then he's an interesting one. Tunga we spoke about. Kiri, 35. Not relevant. Garner, 33. So, another play that still played that 64 minutes in this one. So, they do seem to like at least one of their edges at minimum to play 65 minutes and not go any further. So, those that did captain Tedesco. My only thing here is that it was against the Panthers, and it's very, very difficult to score well against Panthers as an outside back. And if you didn't know that, that's unfortunate. To still get 32 is good, because it did look a lot worse. And going on from here, if you do own him, if you brought him in this week, don't panic too much with it, because you know that the next few weeks he's going to come up against some slightly easier opponents, and he still does look very damaging. Sometimes he would beat that first defender. In other games, he would go through for a line break, or he'd have someone there to pass it to. In this game against the Panthers, they were able to swarm him, and that second guy made sure that they grabbed on and did not let him squirm away or palm off or anything like that. So, still very impressive player, doing good things. 32, you'll cop it. He's still averaging 55, but you do need to bounce back over the next few weeks. If you did buy him this week, I think it was 6% or just under 6% of people that did captain Tedesco. So, pretty big number. And big congrats to those who captained Terrell. Had him as vice captain in my teams there, and I was like, probably gets a 50 odd, gets a 1.1, 1.2 ppm and just crushes it. And the minutes were about what we expected too. He just outdid his work there. So congrats to Terrell. May owners is a few 5% or something of you guys as well. A little bit less than that of Tedesco, I think. Luai keeps he's got some talent, doesn't he? The man has some talent. The man's got some he's fleet-footed, that's for sure. He moves fast. Connor Watson, 32. Good on him, getting through his work, which is good. Tupou, 32, 80 minutes, solid. Tupanua. All right, next one to talk about. 4 missed tackles, an error in this one. Jumped on that try at the end. Thank goodness for that, because he was a 24. 35 overnight, went down 3. So anyone who's fantasy relevant in this one, apart from Liam Henry, went down, sadly. Terrell went down 1, Tupanua down 3, Smith down 1 or 2, Taylor down 5. 5, yuck. I was happy enough with the 34. As soon as I saw it under 30 this morning, isn't it? There's nothing worse, right? I think. Anyway, than waking up and seeing that your players have downdated enough, like a few points. It's like, yuck. It's happened a few weeks in a row for him, actually. Well, it might have been 28. Actually, might have stayed at 28 last week. I can't remember. But some of those guys, when they go down a chunk overnight, or when like Cleary is captain, gets 64 and then goes down to 56. It was usually the other way around, but not this year with Cleary. So that was annoying. If you do own Tupanua, look, you cop it. You couldn't do much with it this week. You needed to keep him in your side, but he just doesn't look the same player, unfortunately. And from a fantasy perspective, that means he needs to go. But with him having the mid and the edge duel, that's very helpful. You do need to cover that in some way. So think of that next week when you're looking at him. Next on the list, I'd say Suoli'i, 31, not relevant center at all. Nice tip on for Suoli'i anyway. To'o just, again, has to find his own work. Unfortunately, there was only, that 10 to 15 minute period last week when the Broncos changed things around defensively and allow them to go left a little bit. Other than that, it's just not really going to happen for To'o on that left-hand side at the moment. Him and Taylor. Mitch Kenny, this one's probably a lesson in just checking out the stats for someone like Mitch, because on a week-to-week basis, he's all over the shop with points. Like, he'll go for like a 29 in 80 minutes, and then he'll go to 55, and you're like, oh, Mitch Kenny could be cool. But check those stats out. He's got way too many games now where he goes low in bigger minutes, and this is another example of that, because he'll make good tackles, but he won't get any meters gained. He'll miss a bunch. He'll have errors, penalties, and the like, and that's where the issues are caused there for him. Sounds like Liam Martin will be okay. I'm glad they only played him a little bit more. Probably didn't need him in the end. That Maverick guy, congrats to him. Came out 14 in his time in the park and looked fine. But just, happy. You could see the big smile on his face when Taylor knocked that ball on to go out and win the game. So, congrats to him and his first win. living up to the guy name, hey? And then you've got, so Martin, just good to see that he was fine, not a long-term kind of thing, especially for the Origin crew, New South Wales Origin crew. Leota just looks great as always, but stats were a bit odd in this one with missed tackles and the like, but good running. And then Dom Young, just again, a tough one. Tough night at the office for anyone in the outside backs, apart from Manu, for the Roosters. He'll be back next week, but it was a tough week to buy any of Teddy or Young. And just be aware of that with your purchases on a week-to-week basis. With any outside back coming up against the Panthers, do expect some low games. You can get lucky. Maybe one of them gets lucky like Manu did, but he's an absolute superstar. Tedesco got 32 and he's a superstar as well. So Young 15. If you grabbed him this week, don't panic trade him. It's annoying, but he could go massive next week. So that's that. With him, 15 is pretty yuck though. Crichton 13. He's going to keep going down. Prices are down. And Dane Laurie didn't get on the park in this one. So just there for a bit of support, help the boys. It's going to be fun when we see him get on the park and do a little bit of work in some time if there is an injury or something like that. So that's the fantasy relevant content for this one here. I suppose the other one, if we want to jump in quickly, see if I can get on there. Oh yeah, my little AFL team. How good's that? Mucking around with the AFL. I put a little team together for that as well, so that's fun. But game day, let's just jump into that one here while we are here and see the stats. So how things worked out. Terrell May was the biggest legend on the Roosters side of things. You had Brandon Smith, who I had a couple weeks ago. Obviously, the try helped him. Tedesco, 67. You'll take that. He got that try assist instead of Suoli'i for the tap on. Suoli'i got the contribution there, which is fair enough. He did help out. Manu, 62. So, just shows that across the games, if you're not getting the big attacking stats, like base stats and tackle breaks and offloads is great in ours. But, you want the big, attacking stats here. Not too much else on the Roosters side. On the Panthers side, Edwards and Taruva killing it. Yo just doing his thing. Liam Henry, 47. As I said, they only gave him one tackle break here. Two here for Supercoach, but 4 on fantasy. So that was interesting at that, but hopefully he updates a little bit with a couple of those tackle breaks. It'll be nice. Schneider doing his thing, and then May, just an absolute shocker. Everyone's got him in Supercoach compared to that of fantasy, so that's that. But I suppose Tupanua, 48, not great, or 45, 46 for Tungle. So kind of got ruined with a few of those contributions instead of 3 try contributions, not assists in this one. So very different to that of the fantasy game. So that's a little rundown of Supercoach as well and fantasy. Hope you guys had plenty of fun enjoying that game last night. It was fun to watch, especially the Panthers masterclass, and we'll see you in the next one. Enjoy Good Friday.